Hi, hello friends. Namaskar दोस्तों. In today's video, we are going to discuss a multi-pronged strategy that is needed to handle Pakistan. This has been prepared by myself. As you see, this is the map of Jammu and Kashmir. Some part of this are cut off, but still the main parts we can see here. So this is Pahalgam. It's almost on the west side of Jammu Kashmir, right? This is Srinagar. Then there is Ganderbal. This is Kupwara. This is Muzaffarabad. This is Baramulla. This is Poonch. This is Rajouri. And below Rajouri, you will have Akhnur. This is Raisi. An incident has happened sometime back in Raisi also. This is Kulgam. So as of now, as you hear, a search operation has been carried out at Kulgam, uh, Ganderbal, Kupwara. These are all very highly sensitive areas. Okay, and they provide good cover to the terrorists because they are highly dense areas with hills and all that. Okay, this is Sopor, this is Shopian, this is Anantnag, this is Kishtwar, this is Doda. Right? One should have a good knowledge about Kashmir when we talk on this topic. That's why I'm just highlighting a few important places in the map. Uh, so let's hear to the PM's speech, which he has given in Bihar some time back, and the PM was visibly very angry, and he has almost taken an oath that India is going to hunt down the terrorists from the last corners of the world. And that was a very clear message, uh, not only to Pakistan, but also the backers of this terrorist, right? And the message was also for the world that India is not going to keep quiet and will definitely retaliate in a good manner.
का दुस्साहस किया है। मैं बहुत स्पष्ट शब्दों में कहना चाहता हूं, जिन्होंने ये हमला किया है, उन आतंकियों को और इस हमले की साजिश रचने वालों को उनकी कल्पना से भी बड़ी सजा मिलेगी। सजा मिलकर के रहेगी। अब आतंकियों की बची खुची जमीन को भी मिट्टी में मिलाने का समय आ गया है। 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की इच्छा शक्ति अब आतंकी आकाओं की कमर तोड़ कर रहेगी। फ्रेंड्स, टुडे from the soil of Bihar, I say to the whole world, India will identify, track and punish every terrorist and their backers. We will pursue them to the ends of the earth. India's spirit will never be broken by terrorism. Terrorism will not go unpunished. Every effort will be made to ensure that justice is done. The entire nation is firm in this resolve. Everyone who believes in humanity is with us. I thank the people of various countries and their leaders who have stood with us.
So this was a speech of the PM where he has accepted the challenge posed by this Pakistan, basically Pakistan. Why to take the names of the terrorists? The terrorists are just small pawns in the whole game. So this is basically the challenge given by Asif Munir, the head of army of Pakistan. See, India is a civilization giant, and that has woken to the challenge. Versus, there is a strict dog who keeps barking and biting. We have to understand this very well. It's like a society where good people are living. एक ऐसी सोसाइटी जहां पे अच्छे सबरांग लोग रहते हैं और रात में रोज एक शराबी आकर उधम करता है. This is what is happening. India is a civilization giant. We have 5,000 years of recorded history. And Pakistan was just carved out of India because of politics, and its existence is even less than 100 years. It's not 100 years. It has not completed yet 100 years also. So that is the difference. So this Pahalgam attack that has happened has multiple angles and need a very slow and gradual approach. A retaliation is necessary but has to be lasting. This is very important. We can't go for quick fix solutions. This is not a case of quick fix resolutions because this has been now going for many years and decades. And Pakistan has not learned a single lesson out of this. Right. So, if we have to make a case, if we have to teach a lesson to Pakistan, then this is the time that we have to retaliate in a way which is lasting. Right? See, Pakistan is like a snake. Unless you crush it from the head, it will try to bite you again and again. ये नहीं सुधरेगा. Let's be very clear about it. Pakistan is not going to listen. उसके बहुत सारे कारण हैं. Let's not go into that. One of the reason मैं बता देता हूँ. Let's share it. कि जो वहाँ का जो आर्मी का एस्टेब्लिशमेंट है, that is into power because of India. They need a proxy enemy, and that proxy enemy is no better than India, because that is how they try to get world sympathy. They are close to China, and they get money from different countries for the same. तो पाकिस्तान जो है, or rather Pakistan army, to remain in power, they will keep fighting India. They will treat India as an enemy. उन नालायकों को ये अक्ल नहीं है कि देश को ऊपर रखा जाए rather than own selfish interest. That is the problem. They have kept their own selfish interest ahead of the nation. The nation is suffering. Their economy is suffering. Right? But these generals, they have all the worldly luxury with them. All the retired generals of Pakistan, most of them, they live in Europe or they live in UK. They have palatial bungalows there with all sort of luxury because they have made billions. They have made huge money. They have properties. Pakistan is one of the biggest, I think, number one investor in Dubai. So where this money is coming from? So they are going to treat India as enemy. Let's have no doubt about it or no second thought about it. And therefore, we have to find or we have to take actions at least this time which are lasting. So let's go into more detail. Let's try to see what are the possible reasons behind this terror attack. Because this is not a simple terror attack. There can be many players into this. Let's see who can be all the players and what can be the reasons. Okay. So first and foremost, it coincided with US Vice President J.D. Vance's visit to India. This is very important because this was a very important tour by J.D. Vance and his family. Okay, and they were already into good discussions, right? But that discussions happened on day one, so that was on 21st April. Second is that PM was in Saudi Arabia uh, to discuss various business deals and most importantly the India Indian connectivity to Europe via Saudi Arabia and Israel. Okay, so important meeting was supposed to be held there to take this infrastructure project ahead. The third reason, which is also quite possible, was the growing tourism in Kashmir. Right? This was definitely not being digested by Pakistan because Pakistan was going down while Kashmir was going up because of tourism and better economy. Right? POK was going down. They were having a lot of problems. So Pakistan was unable to digest this uh, different uh, trajectory for POK versus Kashmir. So they were thinking like Kashmir is slipping out of their hand. So this was also one of the reasons. Then there is this Chinese angle which cannot be ruled out, though it's a bit early to tell it, but still there are good possibilities that China may have a hand in this. The reason is again same economy. China, as we know, that having a problem with US uh, or trade tariff negotiations. Right? US has imposed heavy tariffs on China. Uh, China has also imposed, but still it is very less than what US has imposed on China. So that angle cannot be ruled out, right? And it is normally projected that India will be a winner in this trade tariff war, not only with respect to China, but overall with respect to means globally. And I think India has been one of the first nation that has negotiated with US in a very positive manner. Okay. People are saying, and there are reports coming that there is an Hamas angle also because Hamas person met uh, this terror groups and even Bangladeshis on the Kashmir Solidarity Day. This is also confirmed because the manner in which this brutal incident happened. So there, that was a signature method of Hamas, right? So this possibility of Hamas angle is there, right? And one should keep this in mind because this is very serious development, and we'll talk about how Israel is going to help us in this, right? Of course, there are internal disturbances in Pakistan. They are having serious trouble from Balochistan and uh, other regions of their country. Okay. It is said that the Turkish may also be involved in this whole affair because if you see uh, during the past some months, Turkey has have been giving arms and ammunition to Pakistan, especially drones, right? So the Turkish angle is also there. Now, before a proper strategy is formed, these factors need to be taken into consideration. Right? What are they? So, whatever India does, it should have a lasting effect on Pakistan. So we are not interested in short-term gains. This is not the time to have short-term gains. We should have some permanent and lasting action so that Pakistan remembers that and doesn't again venture to or misadventure to interfere in the matters of India. So, so our strategy should have this factor. Second is least collateral damages to India and all its resources. Right? See, in any war, there are huge damages and losses which are called as collateral damages. Right? It could be in terms of economy, it could be in terms of infrastructure, it could be anything. Anything India suffers during the war, it's called as collateral damage. So we have to keep this collateral damages to the minimum. Okay, this is a very important factor. So while when we prepare our strategy, we have to keep this point into consideration. Another important thing is keeping it under threshold, just below threshold, to avoid nuclear escalation. Right? We'll talk on this more in detail a bit later. But as of now, let's say that India has to pursue a strategy where the war is kept below certain threshold so that Pakistan does not get an opportunity to raise its nuclear threat, because it has been doing so very often, and especially when it fears the most. Point number four is we have to hurt where it hurts most, right? This we have to identify. I'm sure the army strategists know where it's going to hurt most to Pakistan, right? So hurt where it hurts most. Then, as we said, India's development roadmap should not be derailed. We are on a good economic development path, right? We are good with almost all countries except a few, and that helps us a lot to move ahead. We are the first nation to have trade negotiation with the US in a positive manner. So this should not be derailed because no country wants to have business with a country that is on war. Even our best friends, we cannot rely on any of them, right? So this point is important. Another important point is that whatever we do with Pakistan, we have to make sure that China is out of war. Now, this is what you say is the trump card for Pakistan. The moment China enters into this war, the whole scenario may change. So, our goal or our action plan should be such that China remains out of it. Because we cannot handle two, of course, we can handle, but it will be more difficult for us to handle two enemies simultaneously in two different regions. Next point is we must put all efforts to garner international support. Right? As of now, India is doing exactly that, but we have to put more efforts to get this international support. This is very important. This is setting the narrative. Uh, this is like winning the war. This helps in winning the war in multiple ways. So international support is very important. You see what Israel is doing. It has the support of America. So no one is saying a word on what all is happening in Gaza and what Israel is doing. That's good, no problem. But we have to also learn from that. That is what we are saying. Set the narrative, domestic and international. So not only at the international level, we have to set a narrative at the domestic level also for the consumption of our, not only for the Muslims in the country, but also for many opposition parties. Right? And last but not least, if you see, we have to ostracize Pakistan completely, uh, diplomatically, and in whatever way we can do it. Right? So this is also important. Unless we do this, this snake will not learn its lessons. Right? So now, how India does that? That is the essential question. We have made almost 8, 10 points where we say that all these things need to be taken into consideration. So our strategy should be based on these 10 points that I have shown in the previous slide. But the question is how, right? So our action should be slow but gradual. See, a quick war will not help us because there will be suddenly a lot of unknown problems may just sprang up from anywhere. Okay, so it has to be very slow, calibrated, and gradual action plan. One thing that also can be considered is we can avoid direct hit at the moment as the enemy is ready. Okay, so as you know that Pakistan is also flying its fighter planes and other things on the border. Its tanks are moving and everything, so it's ready for the war, right? So one should not attack when the enemy is ready. Okay, we should attack when the enemy is caught by surprise. We can do certain clandestine activities, right? There are many things that can be done. So why to take a direct hit? But what we can do is we can make regular air sorties near border just to bleed Pakistan. See, Pakistan is economically very weak. It doesn't have even fuel to fuel its fighter planes and other machinery. So if let's say if India does regular air sorties for a week or 2 weeks, Pakistan will not be able to sustain that, right? So what we can do is we can have regular air sorties, but we'll not strike them. We'll just make air sorties just to keep the enemy guessing, right? So that is what we say here. Keep Pakistan guessing and test their patience. Let us test their patience. Okay. So it's a slow kill. We are not going to for a fast kill or a quick kill, but let's strangle them slowly and gradually. The important point or strength of Pakistan is its nuclear capabilities, which it often uses as a trump card. Right? So at some point of time, we have to take this nuclear bluff. Again, this is not possible immediately in few months. This may take few years, but at some point of time, because we are talking about a lasting solution, right? So let's be clear: till Pakistan is there, India will not be able to grow and develop as it wants because this country will not allow that. Let's be clear on that. And until this nation, Pakistan, has this nuclear capability, they will keep playing with us. So they will keep attacking us using their proxy terror groups. Finally, let's say this is the God sent opportunity, though it's a bit tragic, but let us turn this unfortunate event into opportunity. There are many things that can be done, and this is the time we should seize the opportunity and start working on that. So this, let's say this, let's play it for 5 years, right? Let's play it for 5 years. Let's make a plan for 5 years. Let's work out slow and gradual, and at the end of 5 years, Pakistan should be totally crushed, nullified, and there should not be any more. The country may exist in this form or in other form or whatever form with different names or whatever, but there should not be any threat emanating from the western side of India. That should be the goal. So we have to use this as an opportunity. There are many things that can be done. Maybe in some other slide we can see how that is possible. Okay. But this is definitely some opportunity. But before we end up our today's video, let's also discuss the risk factor and possible collateral damages, because this is very important. So the first and foremost is of course nuclear threat, for which we have said that we have to keep the action plan below a certain threshold. Okay. Then it is quite possible that Pakistan may go for some cyber attack, and with the help of China, this wrongly written here, with the help of China, and can try to damage our critical infra, um, which includes electricity, which includes many things, roads, dams. There are a list of critical infras that you can see on web. Okay, and since this critical infra are, for example, electricity, they are controlled by sensors and other IoT instruments which are vulnerable to cyber attacks. Okay, so this is very important. Again, they can hit key industrial installations. We all know that India has a lot of PSUs, and Indian private sector is also quite big. So there are some very critical installations also, and an enemy nation can hit these industrial installations. So there can be setback to economy and development. Okay, and last but not least, there can be unknown factors like usage of chemical and biological weapons when the war goes to some great heights, or it's pretty well escalated. So we have to be thoughtful on this, not only the nuclear threat, but also this chemical and biological usage of these biological weapons. So these are some risk factor and possible collateral damages that we have to be aware of uh, while making our strategy uh, towards Pakistan. So finally, we conclude this our plan multi-prong uh, strategy for Pakistan. Right. Uh, this attacks timely tells that there is a bigger play at work. Please read this again. This is no small, ordinary incident that has happened. We have listed, we just talk about the various angles, and maybe some or maybe all are have played a role in this. Okay? Time will tell what all, right? But there is certainly a bigger play at work, right? Because the rise of, see, no country, especially the neighbors, can see the rise of a country like India. We know that India has been pulled back by many countries in the past, right? I don't want to take name, but uh, even the friends also do it. Okay. India has to retaliate, but taking all aspects into consideration and with timings of its own. Right? We have to retaliate. We don't forget that we are not dilating this. We have to retaliate. There should not be any second thought on this retaliation. India should not take it lying down. We have to retaliate, but the retaliation should come calibrated and with our own timings. And as I said, it should be a 5-year plan. We are not talking about here few months or a year. It should be 5-year plan. If PM Modi, RM Rajnath Singh ji, HM Amit Shah ji, and the army brass, if they are hearing to me, I urge them and I request them, don't make it a short-term goal. Make it a long-term goal, stretching up to 5 years, because this snake will not be killed in few months or 1 or 2 years. We have to keep our action plan ready for 5 years and in a gradual but continuous manner. That's the point. That's important. Okay. And this has to come up with surprises, shocks, actions, whatever means we have. but we have to keep it continuing and everything very well calibrated. Okay. So this has to be a long-lasting strategy, well calibrated with surpasses, shock, brutality and guile. तो जैसा वो हमारे हिंदी में कहते हैं साम दाम दंड भेद, तो वो नीति पे हमको चलकर we have to execute a well thought strategy to make sure that Pakistan does not try to bite India in any manner, whether it is terror or whether it's something else, right? Before I close, I would just like to say that Bangladesh and China are also very important players here. I am not talking about Turkey, okay? But Bangladesh and China both are important. And before Bangladesh also becomes an enemy like Pakistan, we have to find a solution for Bangladesh also. See, we have our problem, our mistake is that we allow the country to grow up, and then we get hurt, and then we try to think about the retaliation. So why allow this situation? So let's find a solution for Bangladesh also, along with Pakistan. So when I'm saying a 5-year plan, so my plan or our plan should have at least Bangladesh and Pakistan, if not China. We have to think about China also. So let's say that will be another 10, 15, 20 years plan. But as of now, during these 5 years, we have to handle both this Bangladesh and Pakistan and keep China under check through various ways. And the best way to keep China is to uh, show him carrots, okay, just enough carrots so that it doesn't bites us. It doesn't. It will definitely. It will do. It will still clandestinely. It will try to help Pakistan. But if we have to play it smartly, and I wonder why the government of India is not taking this with China. Next time, if China foreign minister or President Zai says invites Indian PM मोदी जी को यदि बुलाते हैं तो the first condition that India should put is that why are you arming Pakistan, because those arms are being used against us. So if you want to do business, I hope our EM Jaishankar ji is also listening or get a chance to listen to this. So China has to be told in no uncertain terms that please, please, please don't harm Pakistan. If you want to do business with us, we will be most happy to do that. But let's solve the border issues and also let's keep Pakistan out of our friendship. Okay. So with this, I will close my today's this video on multi-pronged strategy that is needed for Pakistan. As you know that we are trying to get you good data, information, and our analysis on relevant topics. We need your support. Please like, comment, subscribe, because it helps to reach more people, and such important things should have better outreach. So please subscribe. Thank you very much. We'll meet soon. Thank you.